Hi, this is Miss Turner. Today I'm going to talk to you about creating an annotated bibliography. For this particular assignment, you were able to choose your topic and you're creating a compare and contrast essay where you're presenting both sides of the argument and leaving it up to your reader to determine where they fall as far as their opinion on the topic. So you've been using Mac and Via to find sources. What I've done is created a group for you. So I'm going to show you how to get to that group and then how to create your annotated bibliography. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the library website. The library website is at bit.ly/chs library. So that's bit.ly/capital C, capital H, capital S, and library. So bit.ly/CHS library. You do want to make sure the CHS is capitalized. Once you've typed that in, you go to the home page that you see here, and then the research guide I created is under the link Research Guide over here on the left. So I'm going to click that, and then you're going to scroll down alphabetically to find English 3, and you're going to choose Annotated Bibliography. This here is the research guide that I created for this assignment. The very first thing you see is Mac and Via. Now what I've done is create a group for you. So when you've been going into Mac and Via, there's hundreds of resources that pop up when you log in. When you log into this group I created, it only has the databases that would be helpful for this particular type of research. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Mac and Via. As you know, you log in using your normal ID and then your usual password. If you've used the Mac and Via group that was located on the research guide page, you'll notice when you log in that you've got English 3 annotated bibliography at the top, because these are the resources I pulled just for the annotated bibliography assignment. So as your teachers have told you, the places that you should have started would have been Sears Issues Researcher right here, because this gives you the pro and the con for multiple types of events that may be occurring or topics that you would like to discuss. In addition, if we do load more, there are some other ones that could be helpful to you if you need more information. So I'm going to go through those now. First, we have the American Government Database from ABC Clio. So if you're doing anything that has to do with government policy, that would be a great resource to use. Next, you'll see EBSCO eBooks. Ebooks, just like our databases, are accessed online and they're simultaneous unlimited usage. So for the EBSCO ebooks, these are going to be a little bit more elevated, and you're going to be looking for a specific topic that you've landed on. EBSCOhost is next. That's a great overall database. It's actually my very favorite database because it has so much information in it on so many different topics. EBSCOhost actually houses thousands of additional databases, so it is going to be a little bit more robust than some of your other databases, and therefore might take some getting used to as far as finding sources. The next thing you'll see is Explora by EBSCO. This one narrows it down a little bit more to student research and classroom instruction. So it's going to have less information than EBSCOhost, even though it's an EBSCO product. So it might be a little bit easier for you to navigate. It'll still have lots and lots of current event topics. The next one is Gale Virtual Reference Library. This is an ebook collection. This one's hosted by Gale, and it's fairly easy to navigate. You just type your topic in and you'll get the ebook. Again, simultaneous unlimited usage for these. General OneFile is next. This is a Gale product and it's great for general searches, anything in healthcare or sports, current events, you can find using Gale General OneFile. This one, just like EBSCOhost, is more robust. It has several databases, hundreds, thousands of databases it's pulling from, so it's going to be a little bit more complex to navigate, but it will have tons of information on any source you can think of. The next one that I'm going to talk about is greener. Greener is for any sort of environmental, energy, natural resources, things like that. So if you um, are doing any sort of research on those types of things, that would be a great place to go. If your research has to do with health and wellness, going to the Health and Wellness Resource Center would be good. That would narrow it down to just those topics having to do with healthcare industry. Modern Genocide is a new database, and it would be great for anything having to do with causes and effects of modern genocides in any of the countries that you can think of. Anything with human or civil rights. We've been getting really good reviews on this database as far as ease of use and quality of information, so definitely check that one out if it works with your topic. The next one listed is Newsstand by Gell. This one has got lots of current newspaper articles. So if you are researching something really current and you want some sort of news article on it, this would be a great place to go. Opposing Viewpoints in Context is a lot like Sears Issues Researcher. So if you're wanting to see both sides of an argument, this would be right up there with Sears for you to use for that. So this would be a good one to start with along with Sears if you're still kind of wrapping your brain around what you want to do or maybe both sides of the argument. ProSearch for Gell is another good general database like EBSCOhost or Explora. This one will have many more topics than some of your other databases, so it might be a little more complex to get through. ProQuest, just like Gell and EBSCO, is again going to have tons and tons of resources. This one is really good for newspaper articles though, so just like Newsstand, if it's a current event and you want to get the news paper information, this would be a great place to go. ProQuest eBrary is another database that has ebooks, so just like GVRL or EBSCO ebooks, this would be a good place to go if you want a book source. And again, it's online, unlimited access. Research in Context and Science in Context are more specific Gell databases. So if you're looking for something that narrows down Gell so it's not quite so broad, you could use one of these. We've talked about Sears. Student Resources in Context, again, will narrow down the Gell items to just current events that are happening now, so it'd be a great place to go for that. And then World History in the Modern Era, if it's something that's happening out of the United States, this database might help you with that. Not for the most current information, but for things that have happened recently. If you want the most current, you need to be using the other databases and the newspapers and things like that. Okay, so that's the selection of databases and ebook items that I've included in the group for you that should help you with this particular assignment. So now let's talk about what you do after you find the information. So once you've located your items that you would like to use in your annotated bibliography, you're going to create the bibliography. So right here I explain what an annotated bibliography it is. It tells you that it's a collection of resources that you find that are reputable and that you think you could possibly use in your essay or project that you're completing. The structure of an annotated bibliography is to have the citation and then a short summary and then a sentence or two about how you could possibly use the information. There's a couple places you could go to help you format your citations. If you use any of the items that were in that Mac and VIA group I just showed you for the databases or the ebooks, they do cite your sources for you. However, it is always best to compare them to current MLA style just to make sure they're accurate. One quick way to tell if it's still using 7th edition instead of 8th edition MLA is whether it has the medium on there. If the citation says print or web near the end of the citation, it is an MLA 7th edition. You should be using MLA 8th edition. MLA 8th edition does not have print or web in the citation telling you where it was located. So you'll know it's more current if it does not have those things. A good place to go to see if it's current would be Purdue University's online writing lab. That's an amazing resource that you can use through your college career, and it breaks up the different types of sources, book, database, website, etc., and tells you exactly how to cite those sources. Another one you can use, of course, is easybib.com. I know y'all have used that extensively for website citations. You can also use it for database citations and ebook citations. So you can use that as well. If you need a short tutorial on how to cite your sources, I have linked a tutorial right here for you, so you can view how to use easybib.com or Purdue Online to cite your sources. Now, for an example annotated bibliography, there is one on Purdue Online, and I've linked it right here, or you can use the one that I've embedded in the page here to help you. This particular one I like because it's broken down exactly what to do when you're doing your citation. So for example, it shows you to have your last name and pagination at the top. It shows you the header over here on the left. It shows you to put a title, and then if you read what's on the page, it tells you what to do next. So it says citation number 1 goes here. You can copy and paste the citation directly from the article if it's in a database. To follow proper MLA format and citation, refer to this template or sample assignment. Few things to remember: whole document should be MLA, it should be in Times New Roman, etc. So it tells you if you read it to use 12-point font, that it should be double spaced, that you need 1-inch margins, etc. So if you read that paragraph, it gives you additional, very explicit information on what to do, and then you can see that your first citation is left justified for the first line and then indented completely after it, and that your second citation is the same way with the left justification and then an indent after it, and then you continue going thusly. You don't number your citations, you don't put bullet points, you just simply have it left justified for the first line, and then everything after that is indented, so it's very clear to your teacher that this is your first citation, and then this one must be your second one because it's left justified. If you have any questions during this process and you need help, please feel free to stop by the library at any time to see me. I'm happy to help you citing your sources, formatting the sources on the page, finding sources, creating the annotated bibliography, or anything else that you might need help with to make this a successful project for you. Thank you for listening, and let me know if you need help.